This creative experience is called Laundryscapes. For our challenge, we are going to look at landscape artworks and then use your laundry to create a landscape collage. The materials you'll need are clothes and fabric. Think shirts, socks, pants, or maybe even bed sheets, towels. Just make sure that you ask permission before you start pulling out all of the folded laundry. The participate page for this experience is at tinyurl.com/laundryscape. Here you have the links to everything you see in this video guide. Our plan is to read aloud a book, look at landscape artworks, learn some laundry tricks, and build your own laundry landscape. Hello to all of my friends. We are going to start with taking a look at our participate page, which is located at tinyurl.com/laundryscape. It'll pull up this web page, and as always, the first thing you'll see is a video link or this PDF link that is the one-page guide of our plan and the creative challenge. If you started with this guide, you can click this link right here to return to the participate page or to see it for the first time. If you would like to do a read aloud, we have a book called The Noon Balloon.
The Noon Balloon by
This book is by Margaret Wise Brown, and one of the reasons that we included it is because there's really pretty landscapes throughout the whole book. A landscape is a picture of the land, and this can be from high above, this can be from on the ground. I wanted to point out some of the color and the use of shapes as we get into making our own landscapes. So this is a great way to start, but it is also optional. I have a collection of landscapes right here to share, and these are from the Smithsonian. So if you scroll down, all of these pictures become bigger if you click on them. You might also get a pop-up because the Smithsonian wants to show you how to use this website, but you can click skip for now, or you can click stop showing me. If you do click take a tour, it's going to show you a few steps more. I'm going to click on this picture to make it bigger. But the cool thing about this, these up, see, there's that pop-up. I'm going to hit continue to collection. Then it's going to ask me to do another one, and I'm going to say turn off screen tips. And we're back. All right, so take a look at this landscape right here. This is a high quality picture from the museum itself. And if I use this magnifying glass, I can zoom in on it and really see the artist's brush strokes. Right now I am clicking and holding my mouse so that I can drag it around the painting. And this is closer than you would ever be allowed to get to a painting in a museum. If you want to go to the next one, you can click this button down here and it will load another landscape. There are 29 in this collection. This one is a great example of a horizon line where the land meets the sky. And if you didn't want to click down here, you can also use these squares. I'm going to move myself up. The squares right here at the bottom, and now I'm going to move myself back down. Those squares bring you back to the grid page so that you can choose which one you want to look at. I am a big fan of color, so I like paintings like this one. I can also use the back button, and you can take a closer look at any of these pictures. See if you can think about the background, middle ground, and foreground. On this one, we have some mountains faded into the background. In the middle ground, we have some buildings, some forests, and in the foreground, we have larger buildings and animals. So consider some of the elements of the landscapes you see and think about which colors you prefer. Again, I can use the back button, or I can use the grid squares that would be located down here. I really like colorful artworks, and most of my clothing that I'm going to use in my own landscapes is very colorful, so something like this gives me a lot of inspiration. Take a closer look at those, and when you get a chance, you can also look at Van Gogh's landscapes. This video leads you to YouTube, but it also is sharing with you just Van Gogh's landscapes, and he only started painting at 27, but he made, in the time that he was alive, over 2,000 artworks. And if you do the math from the day that he died, he basically made 17 or more artworks a month for 10 straight years. So he was a proficient and constant painter, but he unfortunately did not get to see his own fame. He lived most of his life quite poor, spending a lot of money on paint supplies. So these are a collection of landscapes that are famous worldwide. But if you take a look here, we still have background. We have a horizon line where the land and the sky meet. We have middle ground, things and objects in the middle. And then we have foreground. In this one, you can see the long grass getting much larger. And that difference in texture and in size is one of the ways that it shows an illusion of depth. So take a moment to look at a few of Vincent van Gogh's landscapes, and then we have some examples. This first example set is an article that was pictures from an art teacher named Amanda Mast, who started making artwork recreations out of laundry, which is similar to what we're going to be doing. Do you see how she used her child's jeans? And as I go down, she created Baby Yoda out of a t-shirt. And I think these are tie-dye socks. But one of the things to notice, she used a t-shirt as a background. And she really paid attention to folding things so that she could get different shapes. Like the circle or the rectangle background, she folded under the sleeves. She also brought in some extra objects. And her work mostly focused on character artworks. But we're going to focus on landscapes. If you want to do a collection of both or try your own characters, you can. This is an example of how you might use t-shirts to create a sunset sky or to create the land, and she has different separations. I think these are striped socks. When you're ready, here are some tips from another art teacher who is sharing with you some of the ways that she's been folding and then revising her work as she builds her own laundry landscape or laundry artwork. Lastly, before I share with you my own creation process, here's something to think about. We have perspectives and we have the illusions of depth that can really help our landscapes look like they have depth. So we have lines where if something is getting smaller the further it goes back towards the horizon line, it can create an illusion of the illusion of depth, but an illusion that something is further away. You can also do this with size, like these fence posts being up close and these fence posts being so tiny and far away. There is placement. These three trees are the same tree, but this one is bigger because it is closer. You could have overlapping. This image right here implies that the vase is in front of the bowl because you can't see the other side of the bowl. Texture, like the one we just looked at in Van Gogh, has a lot of texture in the grass to help show that this is up close. And fading. In the first landscape that we looked at from the Smithsonian collection, there were mountains faded into the background. You could choose to do that with the sky so that it's not just one solid blue or one solid black. So, there are resources in the participate page, And I'm going to take you downstairs to the studio, and we're going to try out some laundry landscapes. Or I'm going to try out some laundry landscapes. I hope you do too. Please make sure before you start grabbing all of the clothes, especially the folded laundry, that you talk to somebody, whether it be your parent or your sibling if you're borrowing some of their clothes. Make sure you're getting permission and that we're not putting clean clothes on a dirty surface. That's not very economical or healthy for the environment because then we just have to wash them again. Okay, to the downstairs. Hi, welcome to the studio. We have on our whiteboard a basic landscape. You have the horizon line where the sky meets the land. You have a background, a middle ground, and a foreground. There are different types of landscapes that you can decide what you want to do. You can build a cityscape, which would be an urban scene. You can build a farm, that would be a rural scene. You could build a seasonal scene, like a scene of snow, or perhaps a summer beach. You could do a fantasy, just like we saw in the book. You could also think about it from a location standpoint. Are you at the beach, near a forest, in the Arctic, a large plot of grass, or in a garden? Those might be affected by the colors that you have. And what I'm going to be working on, first I'm going to see how difficult it is to do a Edward Hopper painting. So I printed off a reference image. You don't have to print one. You can use your screen. But then I also, for kicks, went ahead and printed off a Bob Ross. So what I would like to share with you, I'm going to use mostly the overhead camera, which is right here. And I have laundry around, even if you cannot see it. So I think I'm going to start with the Edward Hopper. And as I look at this landscape, I have blue and green and then trees in the background. If you're going to be building a landscape up, it helps to start with the things in the far back. So I think I'm going to establish my sky. Now, I don't have a ton of light blue, but I do have this pair of tights, and we'll see how much I can make those tights stretch. So if I were to do this as a light blue and goes down, and then I want to pull in a green. Do I have a darker green? It's okay if your colors don't match, because I did not grab that many greens, but luckily this painting doesn't have a ton of greens in them. So I'm trying to get the shape of the trees, and then maybe I can fold this around to get the bushes and the trees that are over here. I need a little pocket, just a little tiny pocket of blue. And I think what I'm gonna do is take this sock. It's clean, don't worry. Although I do see some dog hair on it, but that's kind of what happens when you have a dog. So that little sock gave me the pop of blue that's right here. A little side-by-side comparison. I'm working on trying to build the tree, although I think I want that to be a little more open. And I guess I could bring this over a bit. All right, now I'm gonna start building up the road. I think what I'll do is I brought a towel and I'll give myself that as a base. Perhaps I should have done that first. Uh-oh. My Laundryscape is falling apart. Eek. It is perfectly all right if you make mistakes. You can see I can't even escape mistakes. And I'm going to tuck it in to kind of help frame it. frame it on this side. Okay. And now let's get on to some buildings. I'm gonna take this sweater and fold it. You see, I am so good at folding. I know you are super impressed with my grade A folding skills. And that's gonna be my building. Do I have any orange? Oh, I don't. All right, let's pull up some. I think I'm just gonna have to do with this somehow, because it's quite large for the scene that I'm making. This is a sweatshirt, but maybe I could get away with just doing the hood and trying to build the church. So if I were to do that right here, then I could tuck it behind, get that overlap in, tuck it around, and then I lose a little bit of the gray down here. So I'm going to tuck that under, and we're just working through, imagining that that is about the right color. I think that's good. That's good. I need some, well, this should be a little bit higher. Fold that under. So this is going to be the road. Sky, road. I need some sidewalk over here in a darker gray. So I'm folding this sock that has green on it inside out. And now it's just gray with a little bit of black. And that's gonna act as my bottom corner. Ooh, maybe I could, there's a tire on there, so I'll get that. Now, I wish I had more crazy socks. You'd think your art teacher would have a lot of crazy socks, but sometimes they don't. And I do have some of these, which I think I'm going to use to help design this line across. And then I still don't have any orange for this one orange spot right there. Edward Hopper used some really bright colors in his work. So I guess I'm just gonna have to wing it. I know that this is not orange, but maybe that can help with some of the details because they get smaller as they go further away, which is another illusion of depth. And then there's some road. What if I took these shorts? Does that help at all? I don't know if that made it better or worse. I think I'm gonna pull that out, and I'm gonna pull in, I have a darker gray. So this I could use to frame the sidewalk. All right. I am feeling like this is a very organized pile of laundry. I'm going to do that for that round spot. And I think what I'll do with these. What do I have left? I have some brown. Is there any brown? Oh, I guess this can act as the corner sidewalk. I'll have to show this to my mom later. She's gonna crack up. All right. Get this. I just need a little bit to mark the trees. And it's okay that it's hanging off. I'll fold that around. Some of the laundry pieces that you pick up, they're not gonna work. And that is okay. I'm still gonna try one last time, and if I only get one tree, I'm all right with that. Tuck them around and around. I'm using twisting. Oh, this looks silly. Now, I have some white that I suppose I could put up for the windows of this building. That kind of rest against the side. I'm excited to see some of the things that you make. Their kids' clothes often have a lot more color. There's no purple in this. Kids' clothes often have a lot more color than Miss Cozy, I suppose. But do you have a banana bag? Because I have a banana bag, and it's what I'm going to use to make this street light. If it would just cooperate. Come on, laundry, become artwork. Oh dear. Okay. And then the last thing I really need to do is the SO sign. And I'm not going to worry about the lettering, but I'm going to try to create the round part here. And maybe fold this into itself. Some of the small details, I think, are the hardest. So, it feels kind of silly touting on about how awesome my banana bag is when it both doesn't want to cooperate and also now it just looks like bananas are attacking the town. So, this is my first attempt at a laundry landscape, and I think what I'm going to do is frame a picture, because I know if I look at it from the side, it looks like a hot mess. But if I go ahead and take a picture the way it's supposed to be, maybe you'll be able to see the idea of what I was getting, and I'll put it next to the Edward Hopper one. Round two. So, some things that I figured out. I think that the Edward Hopper had a lot more colors than I had of clothes. And I'm going to go ahead and try a Bob Ross, but something I'm changing is a towel as a background to help me kind of limit how big I'm going so I have a sense of space. And then I'm also going to try to build up the background that's also in the foreground. That sounds kind of confusing. What I mean is, these, for laundry, these trees have to go on top of this water, and these trees have to go on top of the mountain. And then the water kind of meets right here. So I think I'm gonna build the sky, the mountain, the water, and then focus on the details. So here's my new canvas. One of the things I also did, I went and grabbed a little more laundry. This is a tank top that inside has a graphic, but I have it inside out so that I can use this solid blue right here. Okay. So, great. All right, my blue background, checking my top camera. And now I need the mountains, and I think I'm gonna use this texture. This is a pillowcase. It has a lot of fabric to it, and it has a lot of fabric folds. And I'm gonna try to get that mountain in. Over more. And now I'm going to get that water on the bottom, and I'm going to use a different blue with a pattern to help create some texture. And the mountains right there. So here's another illusion of depth. The water gets smaller, both on my Laundryscape and on the Goghs Ross landscape right here. So now it's time for some happy trees. I'm gonna take this for the bottom trees, which are kind of the yellow-green. And I'm gonna do a little bit of a, see, I kind of did an accordion fold, letting it sit on top of itself. Get the shape. And now I need this tree, the tall one. So I'm gonna go with my scarf. And since this has a really nice texture on the edge of it, I think what I'm gonna do is fold it so now I have just the scarf edges showing. And I don't quite know, can I get it to stay there? So even though my scarf goes to the outside, I'm okay with it because, so even though there's more extra over here, this way I have a chance to either use that fabric somewhere else. I think I'm going to try on some of these back trees. But also, I can take a photo at the end, and if it's not part of the artwork to have those, that's okay. See if I can get just a little bit of these trees. Try to squish that, overlap the green. Maybe this has a little too much blue in it, but that's okay. You work with what you got. Haha. Now I need the trees over on the other side. Grab my socks. Okay, socks. Help me out. We're gonna get the water green edge. These socks have leaves on them. Get my mountain, my swooping mountain. Oh dear, I made my mountain too big. Okay, and now I'm gonna use this tank top to get these trees back here. And then I think all I need are some clouds. So take this washcloth . It's lighter green down here. And I'm going to tuck that in. Put this over. Check that water. Okay, that's better. And now, I just realized this green needs to be on top. Maybe that was the problem. As if there's only one problem going on in here. Maybe that was the problem. Okay, sweet. It's getting there. It's getting there. And I wish I had a little more sky to work with, but you know what? It's okay. Oh, now I squished my mountain. Gotta take that back a notch. Okay, and get some clouds in. Get some socks. Uh-oh. I've misplaced my socks. Well, I guess if I'm just finishing it off, I can just use some parts of this t-shirt. Let's see if I can get just a few clouds in there, or a concept of clouds. All right, how do you think I did? I'm gonna grab a picture of this. I'll put this next to it for comparison because the camera gets bumped a little bit, and then we're done. I hope you have some fun trying to make your own. I mean, it's not gonna be perfect, and that's okay. The whole point of it is to have some creative fun and try some new ideas. Get your brain moving. You've spent a lot of time in your house probably doing nothing, like me, or playing too many video games, like me. So try out something new, have some fun with it. Let me know how you do.